What's up guys, Calamity Jane here, and we are ready for another California Red Sticker update. It is January 2025, so that means as of the California Air Resources Board amendment to the Red Sticker program, there no longer is a Red Sticker season. So what does that mean? If you have a Red Sticker right now, that means you have no more restrictions. There's no more Red Sticker seasons. You are allowed to ride year-round in any state-designated OHV park. So that's pretty great news. And just a commonly asked question, are they going to reissue me a green sticker now that I don't have any restrictions? I don't believe that they're going to. I think you just keep your red sticker, and rangers now just treat red stickers and green stickers completely the same. There's no more red sticker season. There's no more seasonal restrictions at all. So have at it. That's good news. Today, what we're going to be talking mostly about is a recent OHMVR bulletin that came out in December of 2024. So this is kind of a new development. It has thrown a little bit of a wrench in the program, and what it exactly means for us, for users and for dealers is a little bit unknown. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Before we get any further, if you need a little bit more background, some backstory on the entire red sticker issue, what it is I'm even talking about, it's quite a big topic to cover a recap in this video. So if you need to understand a little bit more of it before moving on, click on this link right up here. These are some previous videos that I've done in the past that explain the entire issue, dating back to when it first rolled out, which was summer 21. So it's been a minute, and in the last couple of seasons, there's been a whole lot of confusion happening at the dealer level, at the DMV level, at the law enforcement level, because a lot of red stickers have still been going out. The entire enforcement process was completely bungled from step one, it turned out. And kind of the reason I haven't done any updates in the last 3 years is because I was trying to avoid saying what is exactly being said in the recent OHMVR bulletin. Okay, so first off, what is OHMVR? OHMVR is Off-Highway Motor Vehicle Recreation Division, and this is within the California Park System. So OHMVR is basically, these are the rangers that you're going to find out at Ocotillo and Hungry Valley. That's OHMVR. This bulletin that came from them says in the big bold letters here what I've been reluctant to point out in the last couple years, and that is DMV continues to issue red sticker registrations for model year 2022 and newer. So when we were trying to wrap our heads around what does this mean, what's going to happen next, what happened was some dealers stopped selling emissions non-compliant bikes with registration or stickers or titles or anything, MSO only, which was textbook. Other dealers just continued right on issuing red stickers and titling bikes. Some of them went through the DMV, showed up in people's mailboxes. Some of them got caught up at the DMV. What it turned into was a big convoluted mess. Some people had stickers, some people didn't. You have people showing up on identical bikes, and rangers are trying to sort out, well, this guy got a sticker, this one doesn't. And I mean, what can anybody claim at that point? You followed the rules, you went through DMV, you paid your fee, you have your sticker. So what are the rangers supposed to do about that? Well, apparently it caused enough of a problem at the enforcement level that it prompted OHMVR to come out with this bulletin stating, hey guys, your policy is completely not working. This is a mess. We are going to honor all of these stickers. That's essentially what this bulletin is saying. This is the good part. Until further notice, law enforcement shall treat all off-highway motor vehicles with current red sticker registration as valid regardless of model year, so long as the registration matches the VIN. And this is not just advising Cal Parks law enforcement. This is an advisory to all California law enforcement that if someone has a sticker, it's valid. So I suppose that's good news for the end users, because that means if you got a sticker, you can keep your sticker. There's no danger of any repercussions there. Legally, you're not going to get fined. You're not going to get it taken away from you. And that was not likely to happen to begin with. So why exactly does it make a difference that they put this on paper? Well, the reason that this is a big deal is less so for the end users and more for dealers, because this is a public admission Basically, what OHMVR is saying here, they're pointing the finger at DMV and CARB saying that your new regulation did not roll out properly. You're still issuing stickers. This whole thing is a mess. We're not trying to clean this up. If people are out here and they're riding and they have a valid sticker that came from the DMV, then we're just going to honor it. This bulletin is not a surprise to anyone at the Air Resources Board or at the Department of Motor Vehicles because both CARB and DMV signed off on this. So this is also kind of an admission on their part, like, okay, we understand it. This is a mess. It's not working as intended. So what's going to happen next? That's the big question. We don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. But as history has taught us, the Air Resources Board does not take very kindly to being ignored. So this is certainly not the end of it. Something is going to happen. We don't know when or where, if it's going to happen on the DMV level or at the Air Resources Board level. Going to be keeping an eye on that and try to keep you updated. In the meantime, what exactly does this mean for dealers? That was my bigger question. Is this a green light? Does this mean that because there's no liability for consumers, there's also no liability for dealers? Does this mean they can go ahead and sticker and title bikes? So again, that's the big question. I reached out to a lot of different parties trying to shed some light on this issue. How are OEs interpreting this? How are dealers interpreting this? Also reached out to the OHMVR to get a little more clarity on this. Is this a non-enforcement? Is that what this means? So OHMVR was quick to respond and point out this is not a non-enforcement. What they had to say in response to my question, does this affect dealers, how they are able to sell motorcycles moving forward? They responded, this bulletin serves to clarify for all law enforcement agencies across California. So again, not just the California Rangers, this is all law enforcement. The OHMVR division is not advising law enforcement to disregard restrictions. Rather, this bulletin is stating that if the DMV issues valid OHV identification, the vehicle is permitted to operate on public lands designated for OHV recreation. The OHMVR division is not providing guidance to OHV dealers on how to proceed with registration for model year 2022 and newer non-CARB compliant OHVs. CARB's executive order still stands. Another place I looked to for some clarity on this was some sources at OEMs themselves. Did not speak to all of them. I only spoke to some of them, but the majority response there was that they were leaving this bulletin to be interpreted by dealers themselves. They weren't giving them advice one way or the other on, does this mean that you can sell non-compliant bikes with registration or does it not? So this is kind of the sticky wicket right now, and this sort of puts California dealers in a bind yet again. Because, again, we have some that have been the good Boy Scouts that have been following the rules and have been doing MSO only for emissions non-compliant bikes, as outlined in the CARB policy. You have some that have been stickering bikes and them showing up in the mail, and now that those customers know that I have this clear and legal and nobody's going to take it away from me, well, guess what? Now that's going to mean a lot more demand on that front. But it is also dangerous. We have dealers kind of treading open water on this issue right now, but there's a shark lurking down below, and that is the Air Resources Board, who can and will lash out with some pretty heavy fines when they feel that someone is not listening to their policies. So that's a risk that dealers are going to have to face. But the question is this bulletin a layer of protection against liability? So we've reached out again. I talked to several dealers on the issue to find out more, to see what their impression of this was. Not all of them even knew what I was talking about, but the ones that did know and were familiar with this bulletin, some of them do think this is a green light. I'm going to go ahead and sticker bikes. This is enough for me. I feel safe moving forward. Other dealers have said nope, because this does not change the California Air Resources Board regulation. We're not breaking any rules. We can't afford to take the risk. We are too big of a target. No way. MSO only for emissions non-compliant bikes. And again, there's still a lot of gray area here. I had some surprising answers from some dealers that were saying things like they would issue a title, but not a registration sticker. That way, the consumer could take the title to a title company and then go to DMV and get a sticker on their own, hypothetically. But there are other dealers who feel that this is going to be added pressure for them. And there's the potential for them to lose business if they're not going to sell a bike to someone with a red sticker. And they said, well, then I'm going to go down the street to so-and-so cycles and get it there instead. So they're losing business. And one of them spelled it out pretty well to me and said, you know, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to risk losing business, potentially going out of business, or do we roll the dice? So it's a tough call, and it's another gray area that we find ourselves in. The good news is, if you have a sticker, you can keep your sticker, and it's as good as a green sticker right now. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen next. We're going to keep an eye on this issue and keep you updated. So I hope that provides some clarity on exactly what's happening with that bulletin. I wish that it could answer more questions than it's asking, but at this point, we just don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen next, but we're going to try to keep an eye on the issue, keep you all updated. There are links down below if you would like to reach out to either OHMVR, California Air Resources Board, or for DMV. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Please forward to anyone you feel might benefit from knowing a little bit more about this. And please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned because we are going to be coming out with another update on this shortly.